Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
And now, with all the great guests I've had this show, I am just going to tell you about this special guest. And, of course, I'm ANITA FINLEY, and my next guest is someone, hopefully you've heard of him. If you were really smart and sophisticated, you would have. His name is Tom Madden, and he has been spinning, inventing, and creating, as he says, for many years. He had a very nice, he started out as a nice young reporter, but you can't hold a good man down, and my gosh, he has done everything. So welcome to our show, Tom.
ANITA, thank you. It's so great to be with you.
Yes, the same for me, and I've just been fascinated by things that happened in your life. You started out as a reporter, but what do you think? Well, let's just rush forward fast. What's your claim to fame?
Well, it's life is a journey, not always well thought out and well planned. I mean, opportunities emerge in your life, and things happen. When I was a reporter, I actually got beat up one night. I was covering a rally, and a protest rally, and somebody socked me, and that socked me into another line of work. I decided, I would go into something less violent, and I became a college professor.
Really?
And that got boring. I got bored hearing myself talk too much in the classroom, and I had to get back into action. So I accepted a job at a PR firm in New York, and that's got me on the trail that really led upward and onward. I mean, I was hired by some very, very important people. I wrote some things that got reprinted and all over the place, New York Times and everything. I developed a reputation, and you can really bank on a reputation. So if you get one going, you can cash in. And I got appointed to some of the highest positions in network television. And I worked with Fred Silverman. I was his right-hand guy. I worked with him at ABC and then at NBC. And then I wanted to have my own business, so I started TransMedia Group, the PR firm in New York. And my first clients were some of the biggest companies in the world, AT&T in the city of New York, and MetLife, and Kellogg's. I mean, you name it. I had lots of very, very important clients. And then my wife, my poor wife, she's passed, but my first wife, and she didn't like the winters anymore, so she insisted that we move to Florida. So I moved the whole operation to Florida, and we have flourished here in Florida from our offices in Boca Raton, and everything has turned out very well. And my wife passed last March, and then I was very distressed over that, and I went online. I started trying to meet people, and then I met this beautiful Brazilian girl in a neighborhood sports bar, Duffy's. And
Duffy's.
I started Duffy's Sports Bar.
Right.
So she, and I read a book about all this called Love Boat 78. It just came out on Amazon. So if anybody wants to know about my adventures and how it all happily wound up, it's all in the book.
We're going to promote that. So it's called Love Boat?
Yeah, Love Boat 78. I lied about my age. I didn't want to say I was 80, so I said 78. So because I'm still in business, number. You judge it by the numbers. It's so unfair in life. Why are we judged by our numbers? I feel like I'm, 40. And yet, I have to carry this, these other numbers with me, but I don't flaunt them. Put it that way.
Right, and you look so much younger, but your voice is like a young person. So that really comes from enthusiasm and loving life, and you're bringing all your usefulness to you. And I am really happy that now you have found another person to enjoy the rest of your life with. But let's get back to some of these things. I remember TransMedia because anybody that drives in Boca Raton and they just get off Palmetto, they get on Palmetto right off Federal Highway, you'll see this neat little building and that was TransMedia. And when you came down to Florida, I still think you did some very powerful things. What were some of the things you really loved when you were down here?
Well, I started coming here while I was well entrenched in Manhattan, and we used to just use this as a sort of a getaway. But then it got harder and harder to leave, especially in the winter, So we got acclimated here, and then I bought a larger condo and a larger condo, and then life just gravitated here, and we liked being here. And actually, I thought I was falling off a cliff or something moving to Florida at that time, but no, there is a wonderful business life down here and a growing business environment. So we did very well. I got Mr. DeSantis, Carl, not the governor, but Carl, as one of my first clients when he owned Rexall Sundown, and Carl says, "What can you do for me?" He says, "I'm making $150 million a year in sales." I said, "Well, give me a shot." And I did some PR for him and so forth. And after about 5 or 6 years, he was doing $900 million in sales. So
wow,
he wound up selling the company for $1.6 billion. And he credits a lot of our publicity, PR, and all the things that we did, to get attention for his products, his nutritional supplements. And he says we helped him, become a billionaire. And I'm very proud of that. And
so you really didn't need anybody else. You had him as your client, and that made you happy, and you did it.
Oh yeah, no, I was doing very well with him. They couldn't believe how much I could impact sales with an appearance on the Today Show or Good Morning America or getting him into the New York Times or whatever it is. And the results were phenomenal, and I made him a believer in PR because it really works. It influences people more than advertising when you read it in the form of news as opposed to sort of propaganda. But it gets you in a different part of the brain. It influences you. Can I mention something? I'm in the thick of a controversy that's growing over my open letter to the mayor of Boca Raton. It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing the response I'm getting. I've gotten slammed by so many people who think I'm some rich guy who lives on the ocean front and he wants his private beach open so he could go jogging on the beach. This has hit people the wrong way, and they're calling me names and saying that I'm heartless and I'm not appreciating all the suffering, and all I'm thinking about is me jogging on the beach. And well, I'm trying to respond to all these folks. I think they totally misunderstand what I'm driving at here. First of all, we have to stay healthy. We can all right. We're all confined in our quarters and so forth, but we have to get out and exercise. And we have to jog or run or walk. I heard this great interview on Turner Classic Movies, TCM, the other day. Right. Ava Marie Saint was being interviewed. How gorgeous she was.
Yes.
West Side Story, North by Northwest, Cary Grant, right. Marlon Brando. And she, in this interview, which was, I don't know, about 7-8 years ago, when she was 88, she was 88 during this interview.
Oh, my God.
And she said, running, walking. No, not running. She said walking. Walking is what is the secret of longevity. You got to walk. Absolutely got to walk. Now, she is now 95 and still walking.
Really? And
I
haven't heard about her for a while.
That's right. Ava Marie Saint, 95, still walking. So I want to walk. Now, people are saying, well, what about why on the beach? Why can't you walk on that little sidewalk? I said, that narrow sidewalk on Ocean Boulevard, where people are bumping into each other?
Yes,
they're bumping into each other. They're rubbing shoulders against each other. The beach is so wide. You can do social distancing like crazy. I mean, you could. If I see somebody coming, I'm not 10 feet, I'm 10 yards away from them on the beach. So it makes utter sense to do this. And then there's some evidence that this virus, this killer virus, it dissipates in the open air, and while it remains concentrated indoors. And it's the worst place to confront this virus is in an enclosed space indoors. You're much safer outdoors, where the wind will take it away, dilute it, and it won't have the dire impact that it's having on so many poor people. So anyway, I just want those who think I'm just, careless and indifferent about all the suffering. I do care. I do care.
I know you.
People...
I have to tell everybody, excuse me, I have to interrupt you because I do know Tom, and he's not like that at all. And whatever this appears to be, he's not doing anything on purpose. This whole thing is causing a lot of problems everywhere anyway. And all you have to do is take care of yourself and do what you can do. And I think what happened with the beaches is when the kids in Fort Lauderdale came down and they started mobbing the beaches, that was different. You see, and that's what I think got everyone crazy. But just doing what you're doing, I mean, it is so silly. But people look. I have to jump over to this because I was going to talk to you about this. You wrote the book after being on the condo. It's the same kind of thing. You lived in this condo and you just couldn't help it, and now you wrote this book, King of the Condo. I remember when you wrote it. It's a satiric novel based on the experiences as president of the Florida condo. And I mean, I have to tell you, I always call it the condo commandos. I mean, that's what they are.
Thanks. Absolutely. I wrote that book because, at the time I was president of this condo in South Palm Beach. And I was tormented. I had the gall to assess everybody to fix up the lobby because it looked like from the 1900s. I mean, you got to keep your property values up, and you have to make your presentation. Your first presentation is when you walk in, it has to look nice, or how are you going to maintain your property value? So anyway, I really got a beating on that. People put graffiti on my car. They put notes on my door late at night. I mean, to get to the pool, I had to walk a gauntlet of criticism. So I moved out of there, and I decided to get back at all these condo commandos and critics.
Right.
And I put them in my book. I changed their names around. Right. I made composite characters, but these were all the same people who drove me nuts. And I had a wonderful chance to get even. That's the wonderful thing about being an author and writing books.
No, that's right. And you did a great. That was made you a little famous down here because there's so many condos, I have to tell you. I don't know if you remember, but that's about that time I was selling real estate for Arvida. I did that for about 10 years. And let me tell you, I remember about some terrible things that happened with condos, how they kept people out that they shouldn't have. I mean, we still had a lot of things going on down here. And that really turned me against some real estate because, boy, they had such power.
Yeah, no, I agree. Condo life it's wonderful. It's I've owned big houses and now I'm living in this condo apartment. It has its pluses and minuses, and one was the other day. My wife and I, we got on an elevator. We put our masks on. We're all protected, and suddenly the elevator stops at a lower floor, and in walks a woman with no mask on. So all of a sudden, this small elevator is crowded, and with this woman with no mask, and so we held our breath for the remaining floors. And when we got out, I could breathe easier, but it made me wish I was on the beach. I could have run around her with no problem whatsoever, but not on that elevator. Boy, we are all together in that enclosed space, which I think, that's the only problem with in a community living like this in a high-rise. You do have a lot of people traveling. Some of them are careful. They wear the mask. Some wear gloves. They're careful. Others are careless. And it's a little precarious.
Yeah, well, our condo says that you must wear a mask. when you're in here, that they said that. I mean, they don't want you to be without a mask.
Absolutely.
So is that what
it makes sense. It makes sense. And some people are just careless or forgetful. I don't know what it is, but you have every once occasionally somebody walking around maskless. You know what I'm thinking about doing? Our PR firm is thinking of having a mask parade contest. I want to encourage people to wear masks, and maybe they can be more fashionable,
Oh, they are. Don't you know that's the latest thing now? Oh, there are companies selling these gorgeous masks with pearls and jewels and everything.
Well, that's what I want to have. Let's do it together. I want to have a contest, and we'll give some awards to the most fashionable looking, clever, creative.
Great idea. And
I think so. I think it could work.
I think I was needing something for the cover of Boomer Times, and I think you just gave me an idea for one of my images. I think so.
Wonderful.
Absolutely. I'm going to find one online. Oh, my God, that's perfect, because I didn't want to do any more
you should see the mask that this artist I used to represent, Duave. You know Duave, and he's an artist. He's a great artist. He made these masks for himself and his wife, and they are really something. I got to send you pictures of them. First of all,
maybe if you do, I could use it. Can you get a hold of it very quickly?
Yes, absolutely. I've been receiving incredible pictures of people with very creative masks. I'll send you some.
No, but I want the one you just said. If he's a famous artist, I'd love to do that.
Yes, he is a famous artist, and he's very proud of the mask he's making. Of course, his signature is on the outside of the mask, so I mean, he's promoting himself a little bit, but they're very charming masks.
Well,
and he and his wife are amazing. They change their hair color every so often. I think his hair is, I think it's red or green or something. He uses this crazy color, both him and his wife. They are an amazing couple.
They live in Boca?
You see their mess. They live in Fort Lauderdale. They live in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, it is something, yes, because I thought I had an idea. I said, it's funny you should bring this up, because I said to my administrator, I said, you know what? I've been looking for something to sell. I'm going to go and have some beautiful masks designed. And so I said, I better look online and see. Well, people in Asia, a lot of people have gorgeous masks, so I got rid of that idea.
No, I think it's a lot of fun, and and we need to have some fun while we protect ourselves. Why can't we enjoy being safe? Why does being safe have to be boring? And why can't we enjoy it? And I think that you'd be encouraging people to do that. So I think that's
I'm going to do that. Yeah, I think that's good. So this is the other question I have. So you have Adrienne as your daughter. Do you have any other children?
I have other children. Yes, they're both in New York. I have a son and I have another daughter. They're not in the same business. They're in different businesses. Adrienne is the only one that sort of took after me, and she's a great publicist, and boy, she's running TransMedia. She's the president of TransMedia.
Right.
And she really keeps all those clients well fed with exposure. And it's challenging right now, but at the same time, there are amazing opportunities because we're all sitting around, watching television, staying online, and so forth. So it's a great time for publicity and social media and so forth. You can really score some points. I have a client in the building where I live. She's a celebrity hair stylist. And she's done most of the movie stars, many of the movie stars in Hollywood, and so I'm gonna let her in on this contest because I'm going to add an element. It's also the hair behind the mask. And I love
that, the hair behind. Oh, that's like the show with the masked singers. Oh my God.
Yeah. So Donna Marie is her name. Her name is Donna Marie.
Okay, I'm writing that down.
If I tell you some of her clients, they're amazing movie stars.
Okay,
and
we can do something on her too. I think that's
beautiful.
beautiful.
You got to talk to Donna Marie. She's spectacular, and So she's amazing, and so we're thinking about doing something along those lines for her as well, and include the hair and the mask together, and it's a whole composite.
Right. You just can't keep a good man down. I was thinking about this. Now, you thought you retired, but you didn't retire. You just decided you take a little break, right? Because you have this beautiful new wife and you want to go places and do things, but, your brain's still working very strong.
Retirement is so dangerous. I mean, we got to stay active and busy. I have a client, Nancy Height. I don't know whether you know her. She's a financial advisor. She's writing a book about the retirement mirage. Today in this century, retirement is almost a mirage. I mean, we don't realize we're living longer. And do we have enough money that's going to go the full limit here, the full travel? And what she's saying is, don't think of retirement. Think of doing other things, but stay active, stay busy, and you may need some more money than you think. So, you know what I mean? So we have to take a whole new look at this concept of retirement. Because it doesn't really work that well in the 21st century with all the ages that we're living to today, thanks to medicine and all these things, except for occasional viruses.
Yes, of course. But Tom, when you think of it, just think about our generation, because I'm your age, and think about what we've had to learn from the time we were little kids with the internet. Well, there's so many things that we're probably the first generation that can do so many things. The kids coming up now, they just do this one thing. They're on the internet with the technology. But we've had to live through all this, and you don't want to throw that away in a retirement. I wrote a book called Live to Be 100 Plus in 1992, and I always believed that we were going to live a much longer time, and that we have to have fun and get married as you've done, remarry, and just do all sorts of things. And so you're following, you're the leader. It's great.
Yeah, no, I really don't know another way. I'm doing what comes very naturally to me, but I do recommend it to everyone else. I don't think about stopping work and then just going out and playing golf or just going out on the boat or whatever. Stay involved, stay productive, do what you have talent. God gave you talent for, and keep exercising that talent. And I think you'll live longer, you'll be happier, you'll have more enthusiasm for life, and I think it's very beneficial. So you and I are on the same radar on that.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, actually, when you think about it, that some of people who now are the actors are doing well in their 60s and 70s. I mean, look at Jane Fonda. These people are gorgeous in what they're doing, and so I don't see that now as in fact, I think the experience that we've had makes us more interesting. And that now there are a lot of women, especially, who couldn't find older gentlemen, so they're now into the the younger guys, the coyotes. And that's the way it goes, right?
Absolutely, and I'm feeling very good. If I'm not creating something or accomplishing something, I feel I'm underperforming, and I'm feeling so much better. I have this blog, Mad Mischief, and I get a lot out of it. Just getting things off my chest, and looking at this, looking at that. And it's a wonderful outlet. So if anybody out there has a bent for writing, think about creating a blog for yourself, because it's wonderful therapy, and at the same time, you might be educating somebody else and enlightening somebody or inspiring somebody. And so mine is maddenmischief.com. And I get a lot of good reaction to it. I'm very happy about it. I also write a lot of articles for, other publications and LinkedIn and so forth. I'm up to about 100 articles on LinkedIn. Would you believe it?
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh my
honest to
God.
Well, I'm a writer. What can I do? I mean, I love to do. My fingers love to exercise, and now the computer has made it so easy to. I mean, I started on an old-fashioned typewriter.
Of course.
And remember the whiteout and all that. I mean, when you want to change something, you had to paint it and paint the thing off, and then use a scissors and put the paper together. I mean, what we went through in those days was just amazing. And now all of a sudden, bang, you can change anything. You can copy it. You can transfer it. You can whatever you want to do. It's all there, and it makes it so easy. So I'm enjoying writing like never before.
Well, the Love Boat 78. That should be a great. What's the cover look like?
Well, the cover I selected, it's this boat in this sort of in the sea. It's traveling somewhere and it doesn't know where it's going, but it just is a wonderful scene, and that's what it's all about. I mean, and that's where I was going. I mean, I didn't know where I was going. I dove into this internet dating thing. I mean, my goodness.
Oh, you did that too? Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, it's been so great having you on the show. I was really looking forward to it, and hopefully we'll be able to do some other things. But you send me the mask, and I'm going to hold up my cover for that. But hopefully I get to see you again, meet your beautiful new wife, and I certainly thank you for taking the time, Tom.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I love talking to you, Anita. Great.
You're so sweet. Yes, I did also. So be well. Stay, sneak on the beach at night maybe. Anyway, I'll see you again.
Okay, dear. Thank you.
All right. Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.